Okay, so hi students, welcome to Diamond Group of Institutions, NEET and KSET online classes. So today we are going to discuss wave optics. So in the wave optics, first point is the wavelength of the light is much greater than the width of the slit or size of the slit. So if wavelength is more or less, what will happen? In the next topics we will discuss. Okay, first topic is the interference. Okay, that means in the wave optics we will discuss the interference, diffraction, polarization properties of the light. Okay, so first topic is the interference. So if interference is nothing but the two waves which have the same frequency and almost nearly have the same amplitude but differ by the some phase difference or path difference result in the interference. So here interference is nothing but distribution of the energy, so that's why the interference is based on the laws of conservation of energy. Remember that point also. And next, if two waves are interfere, then the resultant intensity of the resultant wave is formula is I equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 root of I1 I2 cos pi. Either I1 I2 are the intensities of two waves and pi is the phase difference between the two waves and I is the intensity of resultant wave. Okay, suppose if the intensity of two waves are equal, that means I1 I2 equal to I naught, then the resultant wave intensity is I equal to 4 I naught cos square pi by 2. Here 4 I naught is indicating representing the maximum intensity of the resultant wave. Okay, next here interference may we will sometimes we will get the maximum and sometimes minimum we will get. So maximum condition for the maxima, otherwise it is also called as the constructive interference. When the constructive interference takes place and when the destructive interference takes place. Okay, now constructive interference means when the that means intensity is maximum. Constructive interference from intensity is maximum. So already we have the formula I equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 cos pi. So here if the cos pi value is maximum, then intensity is maximum. So now the cos pi value is in between the -1 and +1. Minimum value is the -1 and maximum value is the +1. So here for the constructive interference, the cos pi value should be +1 maximum. So if cos pi value is +1, that means for which angles the cos is the maximum +1. So that means for the values of even multiple of pi values, cos is the maximum +1. So now pi equal to the 2n pi. So if we know the phase difference, how to find the path difference? The relationship between the phase difference and path difference. The relationship between the phase difference and path difference is nothing but del pi equal to 2 pi lambda into del x. Del pi is the phase difference and del x is the path difference. Okay, 2 pi by lambda is the k, that nothing but constant, that is del pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into del x. Okay, so now substitute the phase difference value here, we will get the path difference is del x equal to 2n into lambda by 2. That means in the constructive interference time, the path difference is even multiple of the pi and phase difference is even multiple of the lambda by 2, then constructive interference takes place. And here we are then if the constructive interference time, then what is the maximum intensity of the resultant wave? So maximum intensity equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2. Actually cos pi term will become here 1. So next from this we can write it as root I1 plus I2 whole square. Already we you know that one. And if two waves have the same intensity, then the maximum intensity is equal to the 4 I naught. That means the maximum intensity is equal to the 4 times to the intensity of the single wave. Okay, and the next in the destructive interference means minimum. So here already I said to you cos pi value is minimum for the -1, maximum is for the 1. So here cos pi is -1. So when we will get the -1 for the cos pi, means even odd multiple of the pi we will get the cos pi equal to -1. So if the phase difference is in the odd multiple of pi, then what is the path difference? Path difference also odd multiple of the lambda by 2. Already you know all these formulas. And in the destructive interference time, then minimum intensity of the wave is nothing but I1 plus I2 minus 2 root I1 I2, and after simplification we will get the root I1 minus I2 root I2 whole square. Okay, next, if two waves have the same intensity, then what is the minimum? So that is equal to the 0. Already you know these formulas. Once read out these formulas. Okay, now the question is, first question we are going to discuss. This question is in your material class discussion में 19th question. This one, the question is, two monochromatic light waves of amplitudes 3a and 2a, two waves का amplitude given, interfering at a point have phase difference of 60 degrees, phase difference given, the intensity of that point will be proportional to the, so at that point what is the intensity, that we have to find. So in the question they given already, write down the given data. So one wave ka amplitude is 3a and other second wave ka amplitude is 2a, and phase difference but between the two waves is nothing but the 60 degrees. Then resultant wave amplitude formula is, so AR square equal to the, that means resultant wave ka amplitude square equal to the A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos pi. A1 A2 are the amplitude of the two waves and pi is the phase difference between the two waves. And now substitute these values. So now A1 place में 3A and A2 place में 2A and pi place में 60 degrees substitute and simplify it, we will get the resultant amplitude AR square equal to the 19A square. So already we know the relationship between the intensity and the amplitude. So the intensity is directly proportional to the square of amplitude. So from that, amplitude is directly proportional to the square of the resultant amplitude. Already we got the resultant amplitude is 19A square. So intensity is directly proportional to the 19A square. The answer is D, right answer. And next, go through the second question. The second question is, the interference pattern is obtained with two coherent light sources of intensity ratio n. So here one more thing you have to remember, to occur the interference we need the coherent sources. What is the meaning of the coherent sources? Means coherent sources mean the sources have the same frequency and have the constant phase difference. That sources are called the coherent sources. And here the ratio of the two coherent intensity ratio they given n, and in the interference pattern the ratio I max minus I minimum by I max plus I minimum will be this. They are asking, we have to find this one. They given the ratio of the intensities they given. So these are the options. Now see the solution. From the given data they given the ratio of the two waves, the ratio of the intensities of two waves, I1 by I2 equal to n. From this I am getting the I1 equal to the n I2. So here sometimes in the question they may ask find the fringe visibility, or sometimes they may ask I max minus I minimum by I max plus I minimum. Here the fringe visibility or I max minus I minimum by I max plus I minimum, both are same. So fringe visibility formula is nothing but the I max minus I minimum by I max plus I minimum. After simplification we will get the formula 2 into square root of I1 I2 by I1 plus I2. Remember this one, important one. So fringe visibility, or they may ask direct this one. So the substitute the given values, that means 2 into root of I1 I2. I1 value is nothing but the NI2 and into I2 by I1 plus में NI2 plus I2 in the numerator. So 2 into root n into I2 square root will be cancelled, I2 will come outside. In the denominator take the I2 as a common, we will get the n plus 1 into I2 will be cancelled, we will get the 2 square root of n by n plus 1. So fringe visibility or I max minus I minimum by I max plus I minimum value is 2 root of n by n plus 1. So option C is the right answer. Okay, is the YDSE, Young's double slit experiment. Okay, in Young's double slit experiment already you know all these things. Okay, now here small d indicate the distance between the two slits, and capital D indicate the distance between the screen to the slits. Okay, and next, so here these two slits are acting as a coherent sources. Now the waves from these two slits interference and from the different interference pattern on the screen. So at the O point the wave from the S1 and the wave from the S2 does not have any phase difference or path difference. So we will get the central maxima at the O, and side of the central maxima, either side of central maxima we will get the bright and dark fringes. Okay, we can measure the distance position of the bright fringe or dark fringe from the central maxima only. Okay, now suppose one wave is coming from the S1 and one more wave is coming from the S2 and meeting at the P and forming the interference pattern, that is a bright fringe or dark fringe, we don't know. Okay, then so the wave is moving from S1 to P, covering less distance compared with the S2 to the P. So then we have the path difference here. What is that path difference? Means del x. Already you know the formula of the path difference, del s equal to the d sine theta. Okay, from this figure, so consider the P and here any this triangle. So now from this one we can write tan theta equal to the y by d. For small angle, sin theta and tan theta almost equal to the theta only. That's why at the place of here sin theta we are writing the y by d. So I am writing here sin theta place में y by d. Here what is this y means? Y is the position of the fringe, that is a bright fringe or dark fringe. Okay, now by substituting the sin theta value y by d, I am getting the y equal to capital D by small d into del x. Del x is nothing but the path difference between the two waves. So already in the first initial in interference concept we discussed the path differences when the if the constructive interference time what is the path difference and the destructive interference time what is the path difference, already we discussed. Suppose at the P point we are getting the bright fringe. Bright fringe is nothing but the due to the constructive interference. So then the path difference is nothing but the even multiple of lambda by 2. I said already that is nothing but the n lambda. So if the bright fringe is forming here, the position of this bright fringe from the O, we can find the formula y bright equal to capital D by small d into n into lambda. Suppose if the dark fringe is forming at the P position, then we have to keep here y equal to capital D by small d into del x place में the path difference between the two waves if the destructive interference is taking place. Dark fringe forming means destructive interference is taking place. So then the position of the dark fringe from the central maxima equal to the capital D by small d into 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. This is the path difference between the two waves for the destructive interference time. And already you know the formula from the fringe width for the YDSC. Fringe width formula is lambda capital D by small d. Capital D already you know distance between the screen and the slits, and small d is the distance between the two slits. And here fringe width is directly proportional to the lambda, wavelength of the light. Beta is the fringe width and lambda is the wavelength of the light. So fringe width is directly proportional to the wavelength. So if wavelength increases, fringe width also increase. If wavelength decreases, fringe width also decrease. That means if wavelength of the light is very small, then the fringes will be fringe width is very small, it will be overlap, and we should not contrast the bright fringe and dark fringe. That's why we need the more wavelength of the light. Okay, next come to see the problems based on the YDSC. So the third problem here, in Young's double slit experiment, that means in YDSC, the fringe width is given the fringe width. So first the fringe width given, if the distance between the slit and the screen is doubled. Okay, the distance between the slit and screen, you have to remember every time, no need to draw the diagram, just the distance between the two slits is the small d, the distance between the screen and the slits is the capital D, you have to remember. Okay, now see the fringe width given, and if the distance between the slits and the screen, that is nothing but the capital D, is doubled. So that means if initially d1 equal to d, then what happened after that? Doubled. So d2 equal to the 2d. So and the distance between the two slits is reduced to 1/4. So the distance between the two slits is reduced to the 1/4. That means initially if we assume d1 equal to d, then d2 equal to, finally it will become d2 equal to d by 4. So initially the fringe width is beta 1 equal to 5 into 10 power minus 4 meters, and they are asking next they given something data, wavelength is changed from the 3.2 into 10 power minus 7 meter to the 8 into 10 power minus 7 meter. So initially the wavelength is the 3.2 into 10 power minus 7 meter, and finally the wavelength is the 8 into 10 power minus 7 meter. So they are asking the value of the new fringes. These are the option. This question is in your material classwork में first class discussion में first question. Okay, now already we know the fringe width formula, beta equal to the lambda capital D by small d. So now the fringe width is that they are asking the new fringe width, beta 2 they are asking. So beta 2 by beta 1 equal to the, so fringe width is directly proportional to the wavelength. So beta 2 by beta 1 is nothing but lambda 2 by lambda 1, and fringe width is directly proportional to the capital D. So the beta 2 by beta 1 is nothing but d2 by d1, and fringe width is inversely proportional to the slit distance between the slits is small d. So now beta 2 by beta 1 plus here d1 by d2 inverse proportion. So now we got here relationship beta 2 by beta 1 equal to the lambda 2 by lambda 1 into d2 by d1 into d1 by d2. Now substitute the values here. So beta 2 by beta 1 equal lambda 2 value we know, lambda 1 value, d2 value is the 2d and d1 value is the d. So small d1 value is the d small d and d2 small d2 value is the d by 4. Substitute here. After simplification we will get beta 2 by beta 1 equal to the 20. Okay, now beta 2 equal to 20, beta 1 send that side 20 beta 1. Already they given beta 1 value is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meters. So substitute here and multiply 20 into 5 is nothing but 100. 100 means 10 square. 10 square into 10 power minus 4 meters. So now beta 2 equal to the 10 power minus 2 meters. The option D is the right answer. Okay, now come to the second question. Next question, fourth question. This question is in your material class discussion mein 8th question. The question is in YDAC the fringes width is found to be 0.4 millimeter. So fringe width given. I written here fringe width beta equal to the 0.4 millimeter. If the whole apparatus is immersed in a water of refractive index 4 by 3. So water ka refractive index they given. I written here water ka refractive index also 4 by 3. And next, without disturbing the geometrical arrangement. Without disturbing the geometrical arrangement means they are not disturbing the distance between the screen to the slits and they are not disturbing the distance between the two slits. That means capital D small d they are not changing. So the new fringe width will be we have to find. So already we know the fringe width formula. Beta equal to the lambda d by capital D by small d. So here capital D small d they are not changing, then these two are the constants. So then the relationship between the fringe width and the wavelength is beta is directly proportional to the lambda. So first it is in the air and next they are keeping in the water. So then what will happen if the light move from the air to the or vacuum to the water, then wavelength of the light decreases. How much decreases means lambda dash equal to the lambda by mu. So lambda dash is the wavelength in the water. Okay, so lambda is the wavelength in the air, by mu times it will be decreases. So same way this fringe width also directly proportional to the wavelength. So fringe width is also decreased by the mu times. So then value is beta dash equal to the beta by mu. So then beta value already they given 0.4 millimeter and mu value given 4 by 3 and substitute here. Then we will get the beta dash value is nothing but new fringe width is a 0.3 millimeter. So 0.30 millimeter is the right answer. Okay. Next question is fifth question and this question in your material home assignment में 24th question. The question is in YDAC 8 fringes are observed. So here 8 fringes are observed to be formed in a certain segment of the screen when light of wavelength is 900 meters. So if we use the light of wavelength 900 nanometers, we are getting the 8 fringes. If the wavelength of the light is changed to 400 nanometer, if the wavelength is changed to the 400 nanometers, the number of fringes should be observed in the same segment that we have to find. Okay, so before going to this, once see now, suppose if we consider within this region, we are getting, suppose we are using the 900 nanometers wavelength, then 8 fringes we are getting. So then in the same segment, in the same region, how many fringes we will get by using the 400 nanometer wavelength of the light, that we have to find. So direct formula remember here, n1 lambda 1 equal to the n2 lambda 2. Okay, so initially the given number of fringes is 8 fringes by using the wavelength 900 nanometers and by using the 400 nanometer wavelength of the light, then how many fringes we will get. So the formula is n1 lambda 1 equal to n2 lambda 2. Substitute n1 value 8, lambda 1 value is 900, n2 value we have to find, lambda 2 value is 400 and simplify it, we will get the 18 fringes. That means if the wavelength of the light decreases, the number of fringes increases. Okay, now come to see the next question, sixth question. Okay, so interference fringes are produced by a double slit arrangement and a piece of plain parallel glass of refractive index 1.5. So one piece of glass paper they are taking and the refractive index of that one is the 1.5 is introduced or in front of the one interfering beam. If the fringes are displaced through the 30 fringes width, now here the fringes are displaced by the 30 fringes width. This is the important. For the light of wavelength, and what is the wavelength of the light means 6 into 10 to the power of minus 5 centimeter. So then what is the thickness of the plate? So now see here in the YDSC, so now these are the two slits, so distance between these two is the small d, and distance between the screen and the slits is nothing but the capital D. So now here the waves are going from the two slits and forming the dark or bright fringes at the P position. So in front of any slit, if we keep the any object, that means any transparent thing, that means either glass plate or any transparent material, then the fringes will be shifted. So which direction it will be shifted depending on the position of this plate. So now if the plate is in front of this S1, then that means in front of the upside slit, so then this fringes will be shift upward direction. If this this glass plate is in front of the S2 slit, downside slit, then fringes will be shifted to the downward direction. That means actually the central maxima will form at the O point. Then by keeping the this plate, transparent plate, in front of the S1, then the central maxima will be shifted to the upward direction. Suppose if we keep this glass plate in front of the S2, then central maxima will be shifted to the downward direction. So the shifting of the number of fringes is depending on the thickness of the glass plate or transparent medium and refractive index of that one. So now direct formula I am writing here. Remember this one. Now in front of you, one month time only there, so it is not possible to discuss derivations here. So remember the formula: fringe shift equal to capital D by small d into mu minus 1 into t. So if they given in terms of the, here they given in the question 30 fringes shifted, in terms of the fringe width they given. So I am going to write this fringe shift formula in terms of the fringe width. So now actually fringe width formula beta equal to lambda d by capital D by small d. So now here I am substituting, I am getting the fringe shift formula is beta by lambda into mu minus 1 into 2. Give depending on the given data, use the any formula. So now here come to see here. So due to keeping the glass plate in front of the slit, then 30 fringes are displaced. That means the fringe shift is equal to the width of the 30 fringes. So fringe shift is equal to the width of the 30 fringes. So I am equating fringe shift equal to the fringe width is the symbol is the beta. So fringe shift equal to the 30 beta. So now here they given in terms of the fringe width, I am using the formula in terms of the fringe width only, beta by lambda into mu minus 1 into t. I am substituting here beta by lambda into mu minus 1 into t equal to 30 beta. Beta will be cancelled, and we need the t. Here t is the thickness of the glass plate, mu is the refractive index of the glass plate, and lambda is the wavelength of the light. So now t equal to, send this one lambda to this side, mu minus 1 also send this side, we will get 30 lambda by mu minus 1. Substitute the lambda value and mu value, finally we will get the thickness of the plate is 3.6 into 10 to the power of minus 3 centimeters. By introducing this much thickness of the plate in front of the any slit, then 30 fringe width will be displaced from its position. Okay, next question, 7th question. Two coherent narrow slits emitting light of wavelength lambda in the same phase are placed parallel to each other. This point you have to remember. Here the slits are parallel to each other. That means slits are arranged in horizontal. So next, a small separation of 2 lambda. The slits separated by the 2 lambda. The light is collected on a screen S, which is placed at a distance D. So now the screen is here. The distance of the screen from the S1 slit is the capital D. They are asking find the finite distance x such that the intensity at P is equal to the intensity at O. So whatever the intensity we are getting at O, same intensity we have to get the P. That means if you are getting the dark fringe at the O, we have to get the dark fringe at the P. If you are getting the bright fringe at the O, we have to get the bright fringe at the P. And next, if the next one more thing you have to remember, if the slits are vertical, then path difference del x equal to d sine theta. So if the slits are parallel, that means horizontal, then path difference equal to the d cos theta. Remember these two formulas. And the next one more thing is that in the slits are vertical, then central maxima at O, and if you are going away from the central maxima, the number of fringes, order of the fringes increases. But if the slits are horizontal or parallel to each other, then the number of fringes decreases from the O. So suppose here we are getting the n equal to the 3 bright fringe, next 2, 1 like this. But in the vertical case, here the central maxima 1, 2, 3 like this fringe order increases. If the slits are horizontal, fringe order decreases, and the slits are vertical, fringe order increases. Remember that point. So now here first at O point which fringe is forming, bright fringe or dark fringe, that we have to find. First find the path difference between the S1 S2 at O. S1O minus S2O equal, the path difference is the 2 lambda. So the path difference equal to, we are getting the 2 lambda. That means here at the place of the n equal to the 2 we are getting. In the YDS interference way, so for constructive interference path difference is equal to the n lambda. So n we are getting 2 means at the O we are getting the second bright fringe we are getting. So here for the constructive interference, due to the constructive interference we will get the bright fringes. So here for the, in the constructive interference condition, path difference equal to the n lambda. So here we are getting in the form of the n lambda, that means integer multiple of the lambda. So n equal to 2 we are getting, so second bright fringe we are getting. So to get the next bright fringe means here the fringe order decreases. So here bright fringe is nothing but second bright fringe means next will come the first bright fringe. So now path difference from the S1p minus S2p equal to the n lambda, but here what is the fringe we are going to get? First fringe. So n equal to 1, so I am writing here direct lambda. So S1p minus S2p equal to lambda. So here the path difference between these two is nothing but here del x equal to the d cos theta. If the slits are vertical, path difference is d sin theta. Slits are parallel horizontal, path difference equal to d cos theta. Here S1p minus S2p plus me I am writing the d cos theta equal to lambda. Already they given d is nothing but the distance between the slits. Distance between the slits they given 2 lambda. So d is nothing but the 2 lambda. Distance between the slits is the 2 lambda. So substituting here, so simplifying, we are getting the cos theta equal to the 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 we will get in the cos term at 60 degrees. So theta equal to 60 degrees. Now they are asking it for which angle we are getting the maximum intensity at the P point, that we have to find. So tan theta equal to the, so x by d. So tan theta equal to the x by t. So theta we got 60 degrees and x by d, x we have to find tan 60 value is the root 3. So x equal to root 3 into d. So the answer is the root 3 d. And the next question come to the single slit experiment. In the single slit experiment already you know the formulas. So here A indicates the length of the single slit. Okay, so now this is the, here we will get the central bright fringe, and either side of the central bright fringe we will get the dark and bright fringes. So in the single slit experiment, the path difference formula is del x equal to the a sin theta. A is the slit width. Okay, now nth secondary maxima, here we will call it as the secondary maximas and secondary minimas. Okay, so in the YDSC for maxima a path difference equal to the n lambda. Okay, but here in the single slit experiment for the secondary maximas the path difference equal to the odd multiple of lambda by 2, and for secondary minimas the path difference equal to the integer multiple of the lambda. It is opposite to the YDSC, Young's double slit experiment. And next, width of the central maxima, remember 2 lambda d by a equal to 2 lambda f by a. Already you know this formula. Here f is nothing but the focal length of the convex lens. Here we will use lens. In theory you will get that one, remember that formulas. And angular fringe width of the central maxima is nothing but 2 lambda by a. These two formulas you have to remember. Based on the single slit experiment, the question is in a diffraction pattern due to a single slit of width given a, the first minima is observed at angle 30 degrees. First minima is observed at angle 30 degrees when light of wavelength is 5000 angstroms. Wavelength also given 5000 angstroms. Instead on the first secondary maxima is observed at angle. First secondary maxima at what angle we will get, that we have to find. So now for the nth minima, for the nth minima formula already we discussed. Nth minima a sin theta equal to the n lambda. Nth secondary minima a sin theta equal to m lambda. Here they mention already first minima, so n equal to the 1. So substitute, then from that we will get the slit width equal to the 2 lambda, and they are asking what is the angle made by the first secondary maxima. So for secondary maxima the formula equal to the a sin theta equal to n plus 1 lambda by 2. If n equal to 0, that is the central maxima, and n equal to 1, that is the first secondary maxima. So now here n equal to 1, if we substitute we will get the 3 lambda by 2. So now a sin theta 1 equal to 3 lambda by 2. At what angle? First secondary maxima will observe, that angle we have to find. So now sin theta equal to 3 lambda by a send that side 2a. So 3 lambda by 2 into a value is 2 lambda. Substitute here 3 by 4, theta equal to the sin inverse of 3 by 4. That means we will observe the first secondary maxima at a sin inverse of 3 by 4 angle. Okay, the next question is, so unpolarized light of intensity I passes through an ideal polarizer A. Another identical polarizer B is placed behind it. The intensity of light behind B is found to be I naught by 2. Remember this value. And now another identical polarizer C is placed between A and B. The intensity behind the B is now found to be I naught by 8. The angle between polarizer A and C. What is the angle between the polarizer A and C is? So already you know about the Malus law. So the Malus law is the intensity of the light passing through the analyzer is directly proportional to the square of cosine of angle between the transmission directions of polarizer and analyzer. So that means the proportional I naught, I equal to I naught cos square theta. I naught is the maximum intensity. Already you know this formula from the Malus law. That means suppose here we are taking the one polarizer A and here we have the B is a analyzer. Then if the unpolarized light incident on the polarizer, then the intensity after passing through this polarizer is become half. So IA equal to I naught by 2, and this intensity of light is falling on the analyzer. So after passing through this analyzer, the intensity of the light is IB equal to the previous intensity, this intensity into cos square theta. Theta is angle between the, this is the transmission axis here. So this transmission axis of this one is this one. So here it is a vertical and this one is something. So this is the angle between this. Okay, now based on this one we are going to solve the problem. So first condition they given that, so A polarizer they are taking, okay, and next behind the A they are keeping the B polarizer, and if the light transmit through the B polarizer, they are getting the intensity is I naught by 2. That means suppose if the unpolarized light ka intensity is I naught incident on the A polarizer, then after passing through the A polarizer, the intensity of the light is half of the unpolarized light intensity, I naught by 2. So after the A polarizer, the intensity is I naught by 2, and in the question they mention after passing through the B also intensity is equal to I naught 2, means this A polarizer and the B analyzer both are parallel to each other. That means angle made by the transmission axis of the A and the angle made by the transmission axis is nothing but the 0. And in the second case what they mention means, in between the A and the B they are keeping the one more polarizer. By keeping the polarizer C in between the A and B, the intensity of the light after passing through the B, the given that is nothing but the I naught by 8. Okay, I naught by 8 they are getting. So first see now, unpolarized light is passing through the polarizer A, then the intensity will become half. That means after passing through the A, the intensity is I naught by 2. So next this polarizer C is making some angle with the A. Suppose theta angle is making. If C is making theta angle with the A, then C also will make the same angle with the B. Why? Because A and B are parallel to each other. So now after passing through the C, the intensity of the light is the intensity of the incident light I naught by 2 into square of cos theta. So cos square theta. And next this intensity of the light is falling on the B. Then after passing through the B, the intensity of this light is nothing but the intensity of the incident light on the B polarizer. The intensity of the incident light on the B polarizer is nothing but I naught by 2 cos square theta. I naught by 2 cos square theta into cos square theta. Okay, so now they given already the intensity of the outside, that means the intensity of the light after passing through the B, they given I naught by 8. By throwing this procedure we are getting the I naught by 2 cos square theta into cos square theta. Equate these two terms. That means, so in the question they given the intensity of the light after passing through the B is I naught by 8, but actually if we go through the Malus law, then we will get the intensity is I naught by 2 cos square theta into cos square theta. Equate these two, we will get the cos theta equal to the 1 by root 2 and theta equal to the 45 45 degrees. That means angle made by the transmission axis of the A and the transmission axis of the C is 45 degrees. The answer is the 45 degrees is the right answer. Now come to see the next 10th question. So before going to see the 10th question, now remember these formulas. Already you know these formulas. Resolving power equal to the resolving power equal to the 1 by resolving limit. And next microscope mein if luminous object is there, what is the limit of resolution, and if non-luminous object is there, what is the limit of resolution, and if medium is kept immersed in some medium, if the microscope is immersed in a medium, then limit of resolution equal to lambda by 2 mu sin alpha. Here this mu sin alpha is called as the numerical aperture. And the telescope, the resolution power, if the circular aperture is there, then formula this one. If rectangular aperture is there, formula is this one. So remember these formulas. Sometimes they may ask, suppose if numerical aperture increases, then resolution power what will happen, and resolving limit what will happen. See now, if numerical aperture is the u sin alpha, if u sin alpha increases, this d decreases. D is nothing but the limit of resolution. Limit of resolution decreases. If limit of resolution decreases, resolving power increases. So based on that they will ask. And the next here like this on the concept also they may ask the question. Okay, based on that concept we have the question here. See now, the headlight of a jeep are 1.2 meter apart. So now here these are the two headlights. These two are the d distance. The d is nothing but the 1.2 meter apart. Okay, and next if the pupil of the eye of an observer has a diameter of 2 millimeters, so diameter is symbol is capital D, and the diameter value they given 2 millimeter, and light of wavelength 5896 angstrom they used wavelength given. So wavelength equal to the 5896 angstrom means 10 power minus 10 meters. What should be the maximum distance of the jeep from the observer if the two headlights are just separated? So what is the maximum distance from the observer to the jeep? To see this headlights separately, this x we have to find. So now these two are the headlights, and from here the observer is observing, and connect this one. This is the angle. So now here I am drawing the one angular bisector. So this will divide this angle into the two equal parts. This is the theta by 2. Then distance between these two also divided into the two parts, d by 2. From this I am finding the tan theta by 2. So tan theta by 2 equal to the d by 2 by this x. Horizontal distance is the x. So we will get tan theta by 2 equal to d by 2 by x. D by 2 by x. So what t by 2 equal d by 2x. So 2 will be cancelled. Theta equal to the d by x we will get. So now the resolution power of the I equal to formula 1 by theta equal to the d by 1.22 lambda. Here d is nothing but the diameter of the pupil. So lambda is nothing but the wavelength of the light. So now theta plus mein we have to substitute the value d by x. 1 by theta is there, so x by d. X by d equal to d by 1.22 lambda. Then x equal to capital D into small d by 1.22 into lambda. Capital D is the diameter of the pupil, and small d is the distance between the two lights. Okay, 1.2, then 1.22 into lambda value already they given 596 angstroms. Angstrom means 10 power minus 10 meter. Substitute and we will get the answer is x equal to 3.39 kilometers. That means here this C option is the right answer. Okay, remember all these concepts and do the problems. Thank you.